In a quiet meadow nestled between rolling hills, there was a tiny fairy named Sparkle. True to her name, Sparkle radiated a soft, golden glow that sparkled like morning dew in the sunlight. She wasn't like the other fairies who could flit about carefree. Sparkle had a special gift: she could sense when something in the world was out of balance. A tipped scale, a wilting flower, or even a lopsided rainbow would make her wings flutter with unease. Her job was to set things right. One bright morning, as Sparkle floated near a bubbling creek, a strange feeling washed over her. A deep imbalance tugged at her heart. It wasn't a small problem like a flower missing its bloom or a bird forgetting its song. This felt bigger. "I must find what's wrong," she said, her wings shimmering with determination. Sparkle followed the pull of the imbalance into the forest. The trees whispered nervously as she passed, their golden leaves trembling. The deeper she went, the darker it became. Soon, she found herself in a clearing where a magical scale stood. It was enormous, with one side weighed down by a pile of shimmering stones, while the other hung empty, swaying helplessly in the breeze. Sparkle hovered closer, her tiny heart sinking. This was no ordinary imbalance, it was the scale of harmony, a magical artifact that kept the balance of the world intact. Sparkle had heard the elder fairies speak of it, but she never dreamed she'd see it herself. "But why is it unbalanced?" she wondered aloud. The scale glowed faintly, as if trying to speak. Then Sparkle noticed something: the shimmering stones on the heavy side were dimming, their light flickering like dying fireflies. "Oh no!" Sparkle gasped. "The light of the world is fading." She knew she had to act quickly, but how could she tip the scale back without more glowing stones? She was just one tiny fairy. As she fretted, a small, squeaky voice spoke. "Maybe you don't need stones." Sparkle turned to see a little mouse with silvery fur and kind eyes. He was holding a single blade of grass. "What do you mean?" she asked. "Balance isn't always about weight," the mouse explained. "Sometimes, it's about what matters most. Maybe the scale doesn't need more light, it needs more love." Sparkle's wings quivered thoughtfully. She looked at the mouse, then at her own sparkling glow. "Maybe I can give a part of my light," she said. Hovering over the empty side of the scale, Sparkle closed her eyes and let her golden glow flow into it. The scale began to shift, and the stones on the other side brightened. Slowly but surely, the scale tipped back into balance, glowing with a warm, steady light. The forest sighed with relief, and Sparkle smiled, her sparkle dimmer but her heart brighter than ever. "See," the mouse said with a grin. "Sometimes, even a little love can light up the world." And from that day on, Sparkle knew that balance wasn't about being perfect, it was about giving your best, even when you feel small.